What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now I've got quite a special video this week for you guys because shortly I'm going to be heading north on the M1 to the Birmingham NEC, and that is because this weekend is the Classic Car Motor Show, which is hosted at the Birmingham NEC every year. But more importantly, I'm going to be checking out the iconic Auctioneers classic car sale, and there are some real dream cars in the sale this time round. I haven't actually been up to one of their sales this year, so it's going to be very interesting. There's usually loads of cars that are way out of my price range, but I love to go and have a little window shop anyway. So without further ado, I'm going to get on the road and I'll see you guys up at the Birmingham NEC. Well, this car needs no introduction. This is a 1987 Ford Sierra Cosworth, but this is a RS500. Now, everyone will know when one of these broke the internet and sold for something silly like, I think it was nearly £600,000. It was a really low mileage one. It's brand new. What a lovely classic Ford. Oh, that's definitely the priciest RS500 I've ever seen. Now, this one's covered 31,000 miles, but it is unwarranted, so the auction house obviously can't warrant that for one reason or another, but I feel like this would still go fairly high today at the auction. The RS500's paintwork is absolutely gleaming under the lights here in the NEC today. Now, I do have a little bit of an issue sometimes attending these iconic auctions because not all the cars are open, so I'll just have to give you the details and the facts. This example has been restored. I'm not sure how thorough it was, although the paintwork does look gleaming, so it could have had a full restoration. And it has only covered 600 miles since that was completed. Anyway, the estimate on the RS500 is £75,000 to £95,000. The Ford Sierra RS500 sold for £78,750, including premium. Now we're looking around another classic Ford, which the prices of these just seem to be sky high at the moment. One of these Mark II RS1800s sold for, I think it is just shy of £280,000 at historic auctioneers earlier this year. And now we're looking around this one. This is a 1977 Mark II Escort RS1800 today, which is estimated £260,000 to £300,000. The auction house described this RS1800 to be one of the most original and unrestored RS1800s on the road. Now, there were only actually, I think, 109 of these built, so they're a rare car anyway, but this one hasn't been restored at all. It's showing 34,000 miles, but I can't track down whether that's warranted or not. I think it is. This example has always been annually MOT'd. It also had a fresh cam belt in 2023, and today is the first time it's going to be sold in 25 years. So in the catalogue for this RS1800, it says that the estimate is available upon request, but now we're actually here at the auction. It's guided £260,000 to £300,000. That just seems crazy to me. Absolute monopoly money. And considering it's worth this much, it's open. So yeah, it's crazy. Some of the cars are locked, but one of the most expensive ones here is open. The Ford Escort Mark II RS1800 sold for £261,000, including premium. Look at this, a Renault 5 GT Turbo, a boy racer's dream. But does it have any hidden history? Well, that's where this week's video sponsor, Car Vertical, comes in handy, because they check vehicle histories in over 30 countries using over 900 sources. When purchasing a car, Car Vertical can check for past accident damage, mileage discrepancies, theft records, and they can do a financial and legal check on the vehicle. With this GT Turbo, I've punched in the registration into Car Vertical and I've got the check. Unfortunately, it's got a score of 55 out of 100. And it's got attention for the mileage because it's done no miles since 2020, but more importantly, it's got attention on the damage. So they found one record of this being written off. It was in 2005, and it was repairable, but it exceeds the value of the vehicle. So this was a Category C insurance write-off. Car Vertical have been kind enough to offer you viewers 20% off your check when you use my code Mitch at the checkout. So if you're purchasing a vehicle from an auction like this where it's gleaming away, or you're purchasing one privately, remember to do a Car Vertical check and don't be in the dark about your vehicle's history. I haven't been looking around this GT Turbo for long, but it's already attracting quite a lot of attention. Lots of people mentioning, oh, it's Ali G's motor. So this is a 1991 Renault 5 GT Turbo, which is offered at the sale with a fresh MOT as well. The car's been extensively modified, it's had lots of work done. It also comes with invoices and sales receipts totalling up to £30,000, so someone has spent quite a lot of money on this little GT Turbo. The car's quite a winner as well because there's an array of trophies on the parcel shelf. A couple of little bad patches that I've noticed is along the scuttle, the same section on each side. It must be a bit of a water trap, it's starting to bubble up, so that's going to need repairing. The GT Turbo is a cool motor. Obviously it is a Cat C, so that might affect the value of it slightly, but it is estimated fairly high at £10,000 to £12,000.
The Renault 5 GT Turbo sold for £12,937, including premium.
Feast your eyes on this then. This is a 1997 Ford Escort Cosworth Luxe, which has only covered 408 miles from new. So this is basically a brand new Ford Escort Cosworth. This RS Cosworth was one of the last to be produced and remains unmodified. In March 2006, the Cosworth was sold with 24 miles on the clock, and then when it had its first MOT, it was also fully serviced, displaying a mileage of 353 miles. It then went to a new owner and one further MOT was completed in 2007 at 378 miles. And then it's been placed in long-term dry storage. This really is as close as you're going to get to a brand new Escort Cosworth. It's absolutely mint. The paintwork is gleaming. It hasn't been used, let's be honest. It's done 408 miles. Now the estimate on this is £130,000 to £150,000.
The Ford Escort RS Cosworth Luxe did not sell at the sale and remains available. It's on their website currently for a buy it now price of £149,500.
We're really being spoilt here. This is a Ford RS200 S. So there's only 20 S models produced, and this is one of two that were finished in red. The S models of the RS200 benefited from a gain in brake horsepower, so I believe these come out of the factory with 350 brake horsepower. This example has covered hardly no mileage, just like quite a lot of cars here. It's barely done 20,000. I really do quite like these wheels as well. I've never seen a RS200 S, so I'm not quite sure if these are original and the way they came, but these are lovely. I'm probably never going to get the opportunity to look around a red RS200 S again because this is just so rare. Now the estimate on this is £280,000 to £340,000.
The Ford RS200 S sold for £382,500, including premium.
Next up is a car that I've never seen in the flesh before, but I've always wanted to track one of these down. So this is a 1985 Peugeot 205 Lacoste. So yeah, these are really cool, and I've never actually seen one in person, so it's great to spot one here at iconic Auctioneers. This example was cherished by its first owner for 27 years, and it's only showing 26,000 miles from new. So it's a very rare car, it's a limited edition, and it's got that low mileage, which is also helping it. The 205 is locked, but just like the 205 GTIs, it's got a very striking colour of carpet in it. So the GTIs have the reds, and the Lacoste have this bright green, which I love. And I almost think they're trying to replicate a tennis court. The Lacoste 205 is fitted with a 1.4 litre engine from the 205 GT, which produces 79 brake horsepower. It's also got a 5-speed gearbox So it must be quite nippy and fun, especially on the B roads of Britain, but unfortunately, like many of these cars, I think they would probably go into a collection, considering that low mileage. I don't think someone's going to use this too much. I love the Lacoste 205. I'm glad I finally tracked one down, especially at one of these auctions. Now, it does have an estimate of £10,000 to £20,000, although it says it's offered without reserve, so if it doesn't make the lower estimate, it's still going to sell.
The Peugeot 205 Lacoste sold for £11,700, including premium.
Next up, we're looking around this 1989 BMW 635 CSI. This is one of only 60 UK-only motorsport editions, finished in Misano red. The 635 CSI has had a little bit of an easy life. It went on a summer holiday for a few years. It went out to Spain in 2004 and spent 7 years out there, and then it came back in August 2011 when it was reunited with its original UK registration. Under the current ownership, a set of these 17-inch BBS split rims have been added, although the description does state it comes with its original wheels, but I'm not sure I'd want to change them because these are stunning. This example is locked up, just like loads of the cars here, but that just means we're going to be able to whiz through loads more classics in this video. It's covered 76,000 miles, and the estimate on this one is £30,000 to £35,000.
The BMW 635 CSI Motorsport Edition sold for £55,125, including premium.
Now we've just found this really special 1977 Vauxhall Chevette HS. So this is widely regarded as one of the most historically significant examples of the Vauxhall Chevette HS. That is because this was the very first HS built at Luton in late 1977. One of my favourite sections on the Chevette is the interior. Look at that, nice and bold and bright, just like they built these classic cars back in the 70s. Now this car actually served as Vauxhall's press car and in their fleet department prior to the main production of the Chevette HS in 1978. At some point in the Chevette's life, it spent 28 years off the road, but when it re-emerged out of storage, it had a full bare metal restoration using genuine Vauxhall panels, and it was then refinished in its original silver metallic paintwork. But the description reads that most importantly it retains almost all the rare early production features, including these Vega wheels. The Chevette HS has only covered 63,000 miles. It's offered here at iconic auctioneers today with an estimate of £32,000 to £36,000.
The Vauxhall Chevette HS sold for £32,625, including premium.
I found a really special vehicle now in this 2007 Range Rover Vogue SE 3.6 TD V8. Now this was supplied new via a Land Rover specialist to Her Majesty the Queen. So that was Queen Elizabeth II. This is also quite a special Range Rover because it was registered on the same day as Jeremy Clarkson's Range Rover. It carries a chassis number just 10 units apart, and the registration differing by only 2 letters. So this ends in OLH and Clarkson's is OJV. It's not every day you get to say you've touched the same door handle as Queen Elizabeth II, so that's quite special, even though the car is locked up. This is also believed to be the only Tonga Green 3.6 TD V8 diesel L322 supplied to Her Majesty, because the other royal examples were usually petrol. The description doesn't say what date this left the royals, but after it did, around 10 years ago, the Range Rover was subject to a Cat D insurance claim, so it is categorised. It's covered over 120,000 miles, but it was owned by Queen Elizabeth II, so it's still a special car, and it's estimated £50,000 to £60,000.
The Range Rover Vogue SE 3.6 sold for £66,300, £375, including premium.
Now this is a real weapon of a car. This is a 2002 Renault Clio V6. This is the Phase 1 version. And basically what Renault done is they took out the rear seats and installed a 3-litre V6 engine in the back of the car, which runs 227 brake horsepower from factory. These Phase 1 cars were assembled by hand at the Tom Walkinshaw Racing workshops in Sweden using parts shipped from France. Now there were just 1,513 examples of these that were built between 2001 and 2003, and this is build number 349. I have seen a couple of these V6 Clios at auctions before, but never usually the Phase 1 models. This has only covered 21,000 miles, so it's such a low mileage car. Being that V6 Clio as well, it's really iconic. I'd love to own one of these one day, but these are just crazy money. It is MOT'd until August 2026, so it's got a fairly lengthy MOT ticket on it, and it's estimated £40,000 to £50,000.
The Renault Sport Clio V6 sold for £37,083, including premium.
Now we're going to be looking around this stunning 1966 Ford Mark I Lotus Cortina, which was fully restored a few years ago. After 24 years in storage, the Cortina was purchased in 2012 and the rebuild started straight away, which included a body shell restoration with many new panels, but also the original engine and gearbox were fully rebuilt, as well as all the suspension and brakes. The 1.6 litre twin cam Lotus engine is looking amazing in the engine bay. Everything is looking as it should. Stunning condition, and whoever's restored this has done an amazing job. Now, although this is tax and MOT exempt, it has been for many years, the vendor has always MOT'd it since the restoration, and it does have a valid certificate until the 18th of September 2026. There really is no half-hearted restorations here. This example has been done perfectly, and no wonder the estimate is so high, because it's estimated £45,000 to £55,000.
The Mark I Ford Lotus Cortina sold for £43,875, including premium.
We've came across the first commercial of the sale, and there's not many entered into this sale. So of course I'm going to look around this lovely little 1984 Ford Transit long wheelbase. So this was first registered in Germany, where it was believed to have served with the fire service before being imported into the UK in 1986. The Transit has undergone what I can only assume is an extensive restoration, because the colour has been changed from red to Olympic blue, but not only that, the steering wheel would have been on the left-hand side, so all of this dash has been completely changed from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, and I know personally how much of a long job that is. Under the bonnet really is a work of art. You can't even tell that the steering column used to go through the bulkhead on this side. It's been completely restored and done just right. I'm not quite sure whether that brake servo would have been on the other side or whether it would have always sat on the left-hand side. The engine fitted to the Transit is a 2-litre Pinto, which has had the covers colour-coded, which is a nice touch. Most importantly, the description states that since the work has been carried out, the Transit has covered 0 miles, so it might want a little shakedown test. I mean, it looks completely mint. I reckon it has been done to a high standard, but it's always worth checking it over, especially because it's covered no miles since the restoration. Now this one is actually guided sensibly, I personally believe, at £20,000 to £25,000. I don't think that's a bad price. Yes, it's not a original UK Transit, but does it really matter when it looks this good?
The Mark II Ford Transit sold for £29,250, including premium.
Next up is this 1974 Ford RS200. So these were built by Ford's Avo facility using strengthened Type 49 body shells and powered by the good old 2-litre Pinto engine. A restoration started on the Mark 1 RS2000 in 2015, and it's only ever been trailered since completion. It's only got shakedown mileage on it, so at least this one's had a little shakedown, unlike the Mark II Transit we were just looking around. Loving the wooden dash and the 6-dial dash, very iconic in these special edition Mark I Escorts. It's also got the RS 3-spoke steering wheel and the RS seats that are in lovely condition. I must say, some of the restoration examples that I've seen here today are just top class. Sometimes you go to the auctions and some of the cars say that they've been restored, but they've been done like half-heartedly, but these examples are just amazing. Been quite lucky with this Mark I Escort because we've managed to look inside and under the bonnet. So it has been modified under the bonnet, and it's featuring a Ivor Greenwood race engine. So it's been tweaked up, it's got a completely different exhaust manifold. It's also got, looks like a set of twin 40s on the side of it. It's not a bad example of an RS2000 at all. Some may argue that it's not original under the bonnet, but it still looks amazing. It's a great restoration and is estimated high at £45,000 to £55,000.
The Mark I Ford Escort RS2000 sold for £43,875, including premium.
I always like to have a good look around these Peugeot 205 GTIs when I spot them at auction, mainly because the prices fluctuate quite a lot. For example, at Anglia Car Auctions last weekend, I saw one of these sell for just over £6,000.
Right, so take 59 anywhere before it goes. I like very close to this one, just.
And then when I'm looking around this one, this is estimated £12,000 to £15,000. This example is the 1.9 GTI. It doesn't have a sunroof either. It's a non-sunroof model, which is a bonus. It's covered way over 120,000 miles, so it's no show winner. It's certainly lived a life, but it is still looking immaculate. All of the cars actually come with a seller rating on the brochure, and this one has only scored 94 out of a possible 135 points, so it's not mint by any means. Saying that, the Peugeot GTI is still in lovely condition and you could really enjoy this in the summer months. It is a iconic hot hatch, even if it has done a fair few miles. Now, as I say, this example is estimated £12,000 to £15,000, and I'll be interested to see what this goes for, especially knowing that one sold at Anglia Car Auctions for just £6,000 the other weekend.
The Peugeot 205 1.9 GTI sold for £11,812, including premium.
I just wanted to shine a bit of spotlight on this Escort, which has been parked up in a corner of the auction. But this is a 1988 Mark IV Escort. It's a 1.6 GL. But the special thing about this is it's only covered 5,878 miles from new. The Escort comes with its original bill of sale showing a purchase price of £8,800 back in 1988. And it comes with every MOT from 1991 to 2010. It's crazy. The Escort has literally averaged 200 miles a year. It's in immaculate condition, and the Escort is still only showing one owner from new on the V5C. Now, I think this is estimated fairly reasonably at just £5,000 to £10,000. It needs a good machine polish, it needs a good detail, but it's all there, it all looks perfect, the paintwork's nice and clean, and I think if someone purchased this for £5,000 or £6,000, you could happily detail that up and flog it on for double.
The Mark IV Ford Escort 1.6 GL sold for £6,187, including premium.
I always like to record a bit of an oddball at these auctions, so I found this 1964 Steyr-Puch Haflinger I have butchered that pronunciation, but this is basically a little baby Unimog. It is really cool. This was produced in Austria. The baby Unimog is powered at the back by this 643cc air-cooled engine. It is so quirky. I'm actually really liking the look of this thing. Not for me to purchase, it's certainly a little bit too out of my comfort zone, but I just love it. Look how cool it is. Now they also say in the description that it weighs just 635 kilograms, which is light enough to be lifted by 4 strong people. Let's have a little look inside. Really basic in here. This has actually been fully restored. I've just been reading up. Proper cool. Imagine having a farm and taking this round. You could do the rounds, couldn't you, in the morning in this, going from field to field. Now this isn't cheap. This is estimated £12,000 to £16,000.
The baby Unimog sold for £13,500, including premium.
I've recently developed a bit of an itch for these R34s and R33 Skylines. I will eventually scratch it one day, but I'm loving looking around them at auctions. So this is a 2000 Nissan Skyline R34. It's the 25 GTV. Now this example is from Japan. It was originally with the same family for 12 years and it was imported into the UK in February 2024. This example has covered 108,000 kilometres, which isn't too terrible considering it was built in the year 2000. It comes with the 2.5 litre straight 6 engine, but unfortunately this one is an automatic. Well, I say unfortunately, I would prefer a manual, but I'm sure there's a market out there and people that want to buy an automatic version of these Skylines. The Skyline does have MOT and it was fully serviced in September of this year. The estimate here at Iconic Auctioneers is £8,000 to £10,000.
The Nissan Skyline R34 sold for £12,375, including premium.
Now this is a bit of me. This is a 1982 Mark I Fiesta XR2. I actually nearly walked past this. I didn't realise it was entered into the sale. I must have missed it on the catalogue. Now fitted to these is usually a 1600 Crossrow engine, and this does still have the 1600, although it's been reworked into a 1700, and it's been in the hands of Harris Performance, who have tweaked this up, and this would just go like stink. It'd be nice and nippy. Harris Performance are the people to take your classic Ford engine to, and yeah, it just looks amazing. A really nice build. At some point in its life, the Mark I Fiesta was laid up for about 15 years or so until someone dragged it out. I think there wasn't too much to be done bodywork wise, like regarding rust and rot, but it was completely resprayed in sunburst red, and it had a nut and bolt restoration, loads of parts changed, and then the engine work as well. The XR2 doesn't need an MOT because it's tax and MOT exempt now, but it does have a fresh ticket on it until November 2026, which is always good to know. I certainly would like to know what this looks like underneath. I think it will be just as mint as the body and the engine bay. Now the estimate on this is £20,000 to £25,000.
The Mark I Fiesta XR2 sold for £21,937, including premium. Well, there we have it. I had a really good day up at Birmingham NEC attending the Iconic auction. It's always nice to get up there, even though I can't really afford any of the vehicles that are going under the hammer. I do love a bit of window shopping. I like to show you guys what's out there. It was quite hard to record, really busy up there, and you have to pay £20 to get in to actually view the classics. So I think it's £20 for 2 people, so everyone that's in there has paid a tenner. I will mention though, I don't like standing around and watching the auctions, especially at these Iconic auctions, mainly because they just stay on the same vehicle for like 5-10 minutes sometimes, and it just creates such a long and drawn out day. It's not like your usual auction where cars are getting pushed through every sort of minute, 2 minutes. They will literally not have a bid for a couple of minutes and still be on the same vehicle, which I guess is expected when it's at such high value, like hundreds of thousands of pounds. But it's just hard for me to sit there and actually view them. That's why I spoke about the hammer prices this time instead of recording them. I just really enjoyed looking around the cars rather than sitting down and watching the auction. But I did just want to quickly touch on a couple of the cars that went under the hammer that I really like the look of. And the first one being the Clio V6. I've just got such a soft spot for these, and yeah, this sold for £37,000 including premium, which I didn't think was a bad price because these are normally estimated at about 40 to 50k. So yeah, is the value coming down on them? I don't know. It seemed like a really nice example. It was a phase 1 example as well, so I'm not too sure. Seems nice though, and if I had 37 grand, I would have bought it. The next one was the Mark 1 Fiesta XR2. I liked the look of that, really nice. It did sell pretty strong at, what was it, nearly £22,000 including premium. I also liked the look of the Vauxhall Chevette HS. Had some brilliant history with that, so it's always nice to read the descriptions when they got a massive chunky description. I love to read them and get to know the car a little bit more than just a couple of bullet points that you might find at other auctions. And yeah, there's also another car I just wanted to touch on, was the Peugeot 205 Lacoste, because I like sort of my 80s clothing. You guys have probably seen, I love a bit of Sergio Tacchini, Lacoste. And yeah, I've always known about them cars but never actually seen one before, so really good to see one of them at auction. And obviously you got the big hitters as well, the RS1800 Mark II Escort selling for £261,000. Just mind-blowing. Who is buying that? Like, who's buying that? That is crazy. I don't know how much the reproduction Escorts are, but I don't know if you'll be able to get a brand new one for that much money. But I don't know, it's just crazy. It blows my mind. I don't know what people are thinking spending that much money on a Mark II Escort, but it is what it is. It's their money to spend. Who am I to judge? Obviously you've got the RS200 S. I've never seen one of them before, especially not in red, so that selling for £382,000 was no surprise. It was always going to go sky high. And then the one I quite liked actually was the, where is it? It's the Ford Escort RS Cosworth, which had only done 400 miles, but it didn't sell. And yeah, I didn't actually watch the auction, so I wouldn't have known if there was much interest in it, but it's got a buy now of like 150k on it, so unless someone really wants that, I think that might be entered into another auction or go back to the vendor. But yeah, always good to look around cars like that, even though I'm probably never going to be able to afford one. It's interesting to see that people are actually bidding on them and buying them, but it'll only go into someone's collection. I doubt they will ever be used. Anyway, I think that is enough waffling from me. Sometimes I don't get the chance to waffle on at the end of these videos because normally they're sort of like 45-50 minutes long already, and I have to make the outro quite short and snappy. But it's been good to talk to you guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the prices, what your lot of the sale was, because I know there was lots of lots there. And yeah, if there's any cars you want me to find at auction or record at auction, let me know in the comment section below. I will always try and find a classic car that you've been searching for or you'd like to see one go through the auction house. So yeah, just whack all your comments in the comment section below. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel to see more. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, I'll see you guys later.